Hi everyone. With Easter coming on Sunday, I wanted to share with you how Jesus changed my life. When I first recognized my need for Jesus, I was 21 years old. I was living with my boyfriend. I had a really good job. I wasn't a drug addict. I wasn't homeless. We had a nice home. But his mom had invited us to come to church with her, and we resisted for a while, and finally we started going. Well, I remember one Sunday that the pastor asked the question, if you were to die today, do you know that you would go to heaven? And I couldn't answer that question positively. And the other thing he said was, in every one of us, there's a place in our heart that's meant for Jesus. And unfortunately, people try to fill that hole with other things like relationships or money or drugs or alcohol, anything that excites them that they think is going to fill that void. Well, it's meant for Jesus. So at that moment, I realized that I needed Jesus in my life. And at this cute little Southern Baptist church, they played this song at the end of the service, and it was the song, I still remember it, The Savior is Waiting. If I get a chance, I'll tag it in the bottom. But the lyrics just really spoke to me, and I just went forward, talked to the pastor, asked him to pray for me, and he prayed, and I accepted Jesus into my heart that day, and that was in 1978. And we were baptized that following Sunday, which happened to be Easter Sunday. So that's 42 years ago that I've been walking with the Lord. When I thought about my life at that time, I thought, well, I didn't really have a lot of baggage to bring before the Lord. But then when I really thought about it, I did, because at the time that I was living with my boyfriend, I was married to somebody else. A lot of people don't know that. So I was in an adulterous relationship. I was using marijuana. I had a foul mouth that you wouldn't believe, that I can't even remember or think about me saying those things today. I also had an abortion when I was a teenager, and these are some things that I really needed to work out with the Lord. But he took me as I was. I didn't clean myself up to come to Jesus. I came to Jesus, and then he cleaned me up. And he took those things that were intended for evil, and he's turned them around for good in my life. So as soon as I could, I married my boyfriend, my loving husband that I have now today, Pastor Andy, and we're both serving the Lord in ministry. One other thing I didn't mention was that my ex-husband was an abusive man, but I stuck with him for 4 years. But even that experience, God has used so that I can minister to other women who might be in a situation like that, and tell them how important it is that they get safe and that they don't stay in that bondage. So my life has changed tremendously. It wasn't an overnight process. It's something that went over the years, when Jesus would speak to me about something that I needed to take out of my life, like smoking cigarettes or smoking pot or cleaning up my language. He did that. He did that for me, and he enabled me to do that. And now I get to talk to women about the Lord. I get to talk to women about the choices that they make when they're facing an unplanned pregnancy. I get to talk to women about healing after abortion and just understanding the love that God has for them and the healing that he has available for them if they just ask. So my life has changed like crazy. And in the midst of like this COVID-19 situation, I have a peace that God is going to carry me through this. Whether I live through it or not, it doesn't matter, because I know that I have a promise in heaven. Now I know that for sure. And so I'm excited about that. And just the peace that he covers me with, it's amazing. A lot of times people will say, well, Jesus is just a crutch. I'm going to say that that is 100% true. When we think about crutches or a crutch, this is something that helps us to walk. It helps us to have balance. Crutches help us to take the load off. And we always take them wherever we go. So that's why I think of Jesus. He helps me in my walk. He helps me to have better balance. He also takes the load off, and he's always with me. So I hope that you'll think about that and know that Jesus can change your life as well. And so I hope you have a blessed day, and I hope you have a happy Easter.